One of the most popular characters in Marvel and the MCU has to be Loki. In large part comes from his character, the intelligence he has, and the charisma which goes with that. Two of the elements he uses constantly to trick everyone around him, whether it is for good or bad, but mostly bad, we can all agree to that. You can love him or hate him, there is no in between. He has been one of the villains who has meddled with the Avengers on numerous occasions. So today, we have some of his best tricks to date. Enjoy. Number 10. Neil. There are a lot of tricks he pulled, whether minor or some major ones, and we can all agree that they were most for his own self, acting selfish on his desires. Thus, starting off our list is when he first came to Earth. In the first Avengers movie, he managed to put his feet on the ground, wielding the scepter, who at that time we didn't know who gave it to him, but it was later revealed that in fact it was Thanos who gave him the scepter. Moving on, this trick involves some of the oldest tricks in the book, and we know Loki is old. He is a god, and none other than the god of mischief. If we had to start somewhere, this is the one, the Wall of Loki. He effectively corralled hundreds of people, making replicas of himself out of thin air, making a circle and herding all the people like they are some kind of sheep. Number 9. Unleash the Hulk. Next on this list, we have another well thought out trick from Loki. However, in this segment, he didn't use any magic, like in the previous trick. He made a mess only using his mind and intelligence. When he arrived on Earth, he knew that he would not be able to conquer it with the Avengers standing in the way, one of which is his brother Thor in the midst of it all, and he knows that he is very powerful. He let himself be captured and brought to the helicarrier, where he used his wits to trick everyone there and made everyone's worst fears come true. He meddled with Bruce's brain and was able to unleash the Hulk, thus in the process putting many lives at risk. Outside of all the Avengers, many SHIELD agents were on the brink of death, together with the helicarrier, and if it wasn't for Thor, Hulk would have made an even bigger mess out of the situation. In conclusion, Loki was successful in his deceit to take the whole Avengers team apart from the inside. Number 8. I'm not even here. In Thor: The Dark World, we had one of the funniest moments, and this involved Loki. Of course it does. This trick was harmless, and nothing good or bad would come of it, except for the fact to annoy his brother Thor. Walking through the halls of Asgard, Loki teases Thor with many familiar faces, changing into every member of the Avengers team, teasing Thor along the way, which he did quite successfully. A moment reminding us how powerful he is. He was able to change into so many personalities, from an Asgardian soldier for better company, and Lady Sif, all the way to Steve Rogers, imitating the surging righteousness and his costume, which might have been a little too much. But hey, it is Loki we are talking about. Thor is very quickly annoyed by him and puts an end to his trickery. But it was more than enough for us to know how their lives were growing up, full of tricks and teases between the two. Number 7. Nearly destroyed Jotunheim. Right from the start of the Thor standalone movie, we see Loki, of course, and from the beginning there is controversy about the throne of Asgard, as both of them are heirs to the throne. But seeing how the relationship between him and Odin, it is more likely that Thor will be the one chosen for the throne. This sends Loki in a spiraling state, and to prove to his father that he is worthy, he leaves Asgard, and by using the Bifrost, he goes to Jotunheim, a planet with which Asgard has always had a war with. He uses magic and tricks to accomplish his goal. There are shots of the realm's structures falling and frost giants running away in terror. Loki was even able to trick Laufey to get close to him, and eventually cuts him down so that he can be acknowledged by his father.
It's good to have you back. Now if you'll excuse me, I have to destroy Jotunheim.
Number 6. Loki is a snake. From the MCU movies, we are familiar that the Asgardians have already met the people on Earth way back in their time, and that is possible because they are gods and live many years. So with that in mind, people on Earth have inherited the Norse mythology, which have some resemblance with Asgard. For this next trick, there isn't any scene shown in the movies, but if you know a thing or two about the Norse mythology, You can see why Loki took the appearance of the snake. Thor found the snake, and suddenly his brother appeared, tricking him with his transformation, and actually stabs Thor, pulling off a trick right from his young age, showing every one of us how the god of mischief has been to live with growing up. Not a very groundbreaking trick, but always there for the laughs.
He transformed himself into a snake, and he knows that I love snakes. So I went to pick up the snake to admire it, and he transformed back into himself, and he was like, "Yeah, it's me!" And he stabbed me.
Number 5. Took the Tesseract. Over the course of the film Thor Ragnarok, we could see both of the brothers bonding, and Loki finally joining Thor and fighting a good fight. However, this proved wrong at the end of the movie. While he was resurrecting Surtur in Odin's vault, he came across the Tesseract, and he took it. Despite showing that he is on his side, Loki is still up to his old tricks and takes away the Tesseract without anyone knowing. And how? Well, he tricked everyone as always into believing him and assigning him to play a big part in the mission of destroying Hela, their evil sister, and saving Asgard from her reign. As the events unfold, we can see that this trick ends badly for everyone. It is the start of the chained events and Thanos' quest for genocide. Number 4. Get help. While we are at the funny side of the tricks, and also the involvement of both Thor and Loki's childhood, we can all be blessed by it, whether it is funny or tragic. Get help is one of the tricks Loki and Thor learned as a pair. Whenever they tried to distract someone, Thor would ask for help, as if Loki is ill, and he would throw at whoever it was they were trying to fool around with, and they'd assumably both have time to run away. This is showcased in Thor Ragnarok. After exiting the elevator, few guards intercept them on planet Sakaar, and to distract them, they use the oldest trick in the book, get help. It doesn't involve any magic or illusion of any sort, but it has to be one of the funniest tricks in all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Get help! Please! My brother's dying! Get help! Help him! Oh, classic.
Number 3. Now You See Me, Brother. Loki was the one that brought the Dark Elves in Asgard, and for that, he was punished and put in the prison vault below the throne room. In this event, his mother was killed, and it is no secret that Loki had a better relationship with his mother than the one he had with his father. After all, he learned his trickster ways and magic from her, so we can see the reason. When Thor goes to visit him after the death of their mother, Loki reveals his true self, the emotional side of him, and admitting the truth and how the death of his mother affected him. Rather than the illusion he put up for everyone else, the trick he learned from her to create an image everyone else will see. We give him all the credit for his trick, but even more for admitting the truth, showing an even bigger depth to his character. Bravo! Number 2. All Hail the King. From Thor Ragnarok, which is 4 years after the second installment, we learn that Loki put his father, Odin, under a spell, creating an image that everything is good, and has sent to him what it looks like a retirement home in New York. When Thor goes to Asgard, he sees right through Loki's gimmick, a trick he has been using for over 4 years, making everyone believe everything is okay, even to the point of others building statues of him. A+ for effort from us, right? But the most fascinating thing is how he got to the throne, and if we go back to Thor: The Dark World, we can see how. It was actually the moment when he faked his own death on the planet of the elves, a moment that fooled everyone, not only the characters, but also the audience. A trick well thought, making us believe it is true.
Brother.
All right, I yield!
Number 1. A good guy. And last but not least, the biggest and probably most exhausting trick of all. The last one in the series was unsuccessful, but hear us out. From the beginning right until the moment when both him and his brothers are captured by Thanos on his ship, Loki has done many good, bad, and even questionable decisions. And here is why. You remember most of the things he has done leading to the moment of him confronting Thanos, right? Okay, now that you are up to date, ever since the beginning, Loki was doing everything in order to be accepted for who and what he was, right until the end, if it is the end, before Thanos kills him. We see his true face, that he has been doing everything for the good side of things. And all the tricks lead to this moment, his final act, as we know it so far. And even though this was an unsuccessful finished trick, it showed us just how big of a personality he is, deserving the first spot on our list as one of the biggest tricks Loki has done, and fooled many over the course of, right from the start until his end. Or is it his end? We will have to wait and see. And on that note, we end our video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more videos like this in the future.